I'm gonna have to re-edit that. Hey guys, what's up? Welcome to the
What's up?
podcast. I tried to cheat and I threw up a YouTube video and I was gonna do the intro from there and then cut it over, but it didn't work at all.
Best way to start. That is the best way to
Best
start.
way to start the podcast. I'm CJ Collins. With me, my co-host Josh Richardson over here.
Hey,
Aaron, is it Trubisky? How do you say it?
Trusky, man.
Aaron
You got it.
Trusky
Yep.
and Juan the man in the Razor headphones. That's what we
what's
like to
good?
see.
Look at you.
Yes. Welcome to another awesome episode of the podcast. We're hanging out, talking to these two guys, Aaron and Juan, a little bit about how they got into CLT Esports, and then we'll talk about some relevant issues in the esports space, and then from there we'll do some Q&A and hang out and just have a quick little chill conversation. Welcome, guys.
Thanks,
Thank
CJ.
you.
Thanks,
Yeah.
Josh.
Hey.
I like the
Hey.
Bass
Nice
Pro
to
Shop. Yeah, Josh. Rocking it, dude.
Yeah, so I guess Aaron, we'll start with you. What got you into gaming and esports and all the crazy things that you do?
Yeah, man. I've been gaming forever. I mean, as far as I can remember, all the way back to like the original Game Boy. Super Nintendo was my first console I had, and just loved it. It was always a passion of mine. Made a lot of friends through that, and kind of just stuck with it from there. Switched over to some PC gaming, which PC Master Race. It is what it is.
Mm-hmm.
But ended up reconnecting with a lot of people from high school that I, previously kind of lost touch with when I went off to college. And so started playing WoW a lot. And
He
then
said a
even more.
lot.
Definitely a lot. And, just kind of started to build a lot of relationships from there. And really, that's what inspired me to kind of decide to look at possibly doing something with gaming, as a little side business. So here we are. Like, we started our little streaming channel earlier this year, and super stoked to be able to work with you guys. It was just kind of fate that we, kind of ran into each other. But I'm
Yeah, it was.
super stoked to be part of it.
Like, have you ever thought about like what the chances of that like happening were?
Oh.
Like, it's crazy.
I mean, like, minimal. Never. Like, if I didn't start streaming, it never would have been a thing. And CLT Esports would have came up to my computer career and been like, "Hey, what's going on?" I'd been like, "Wow, this is gonna kill my Saturday," and I don't really want to do that. But no, it was awesome. And the first event, like, I knew right there. I got to meet, obviously you guys and some of the other guys, Blake, and they were just awesome right from the get-go. And I had my kids there with me, and they were really, blown away by you guys. It was like watching a bunch of professional gamers, and my middle child he loved it. And
Yeah.
Blake was like his hero. So I mean, that's kind of the way
Blake's
that it all
my
worked
hero
out.
too, so I get it.
I mean,
Yeah.
of course.
Princess Blake. And Blake Hawkins, you're my hero too. We'll throw that in there because he did all the web stuff for us before we actually had a web developer like do all of it.
Yeah.
So both Blakes are awesome, man. If you're a Blake, you're just awesome. So so yeah, I guess we could go over to Juan, man. So you knew CJ prior too, working with.
Tell
a
us
little
about the first
that.
thing you went to, Juan, and what happened, and tell him tell him how you found out about it too. Oh my gosh.
Oh, okay. So, I actually met CJ through work. It was actually really odd. During orientation, the HR lady comes up and she's like, introduce yourself, tell me a little weird thing about yourself, and I was like, well, I'm a bit of a nerd, and I like to play video games. And she's like, oh, really? I know this guy that I should introduce you to. And, I'm like, oh, okay, no problems. And like, she's doing the tour, and then she like takes me like. CJ's coming back from like Taco Bell. That's what it was. And she's like, "Oh,
Bunch of
CJ, you have to meet this new guy. He likes to play video games like you do." And he's like, "Okay, hi, I'm CJ." And we could talk about it later. I'm gonna go eat lunch. And we were like, "Okay, cool." So orientation ends, and like a couple of days later, I'm going to go get like coffee or something for like break, and I see him, and I'm like, "Hey, how you doing?" He's like, "Oh, hi, you're the guy that likes to play video games, right?" And I was like, "Yeah." It's like, "Oh," uh, and he had previously said or she had said something about you owning like CLT or something like that. And I was like, "Oh, really?" And you started talking to me about it a little bit more, and it just kind of like started like kind of clicking. And finally, you were like, "Oh, we're doing this thing at Command Post Gaming. You should come." I was like, "Oh, okay, sure." So I show up, and that's actually where I met Aaron. I met Josh briefly, and a few other of the people from CLT. I was kind of like fish out of water because the only person I really knew was CJ, and I'm actually pretty shy. Um, but started talking to Aaron, started talking to a couple other people there. We played Call of Duty, and you know, kind of sucked at it, so it was great. Um,
It's so funny because seems like it was forever ago. It was the second podcast we did, Josh. Remember the podcast? Like
Yep.
that podcast was actually live at Command Post, and like everyone's behind us playing games, and me and Josh are talking about stupid stuff on the internet.
yep, and that was my first day with you
And
guys.
I loved it too. And I think what Juan kind of like left out of there is like I didn't really tell Juan. I didn't like politely invite him. I said, "Hey, you're coming to this. Like, let's like." He was like on his way out the door, leaving. I was like, "Yo,
Yep.
you're a gamer. I promise you're gonna like what's gonna happen next. Come with me." So it's kind of like dragging Juan along because I don't. Juan's like my favorite person in the whole world because like I feel like there's not a thing that Juan like won't do or can't do, and like our special work moments where like he comes to the desk and like sits down or just chats with me for a little bit. So we get to have like daily chats about like what's going on in esports or what kind of business ventures he's working on the side and what I'm working on the side and how we can make it all better. So like it's been super fun to just kind of watch Juan grow because for everyone else watching, like tell him about like what you knew about social media, what you were doing on social media at the time.
So I had zero presence. I used to have a Facebook, turned that off. I used to have a Twitter, turned that off. And as soon as like I figured out that one of the ways that I could help CLT was through streaming, we were having one of our dailies, and I was like, "I'm gonna have to get a Facebook and a Twitter, ain't I?" And CJ just kind of looks at me and he's like, "Yes, yes, you are." So, like within 20 minutes, I had set up a Twitter, I had set up the Facebook,
It was
and
quick too, and you figured out how to use that stuff quick for somebody who doesn't know how to do anything at all.
yeah, I'm still. Facebook is hard, man. Twitter's fun though. I interact more in there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Um, Aaron, tell us a little bit about what you're working on at CLT. What's like your new thing?
So recently I've been kind of appointed our I guess what director of manager of streamers
Yes.
type situation.
You're like
Um,
the head of influencing.
that's me.
Oh, the
Sure.
head. There you go. Director of
Uh,
influence.
there you go. I like that title. That sounds important. Uh, but no, really, what I'm doing is I'm trying to branch our brand out to get other influencers and streamers in the Charlotte area to to plug CLT Esports, and obviously, why would you not want to? Um,
Yeah.
we had the ability to go up to Johnson Air Force Base a couple weekends ago, and I had the chance to live out one of my dreams. This sounds so cliche, but I've always wanted to be a sports announcer. So being able to do that Rocket League tournament and announce it and kind of commentate it, it was so cool. It was awesome. But that's kind of what I'm trying to find, like other people with that kind of passion that maybe otherwise wouldn't have that type of audience that we might be able to bring to them and put them in the forefront, put them in the spotlight, and really, have them push the CLT Esports name, which I think ultimately is just going to blow up in this area really, really soon.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Kind
I
of in the
think so. I mean,
process of.
yeah, we're in the process of blowing up. We're definitely getting there. That's for sure. So it's not a matter of if now; it's just a matter of when, which I really like.
Yeah, so if you want to become a streamer for CLT and you're watching this, Aaron is the guy who you're going to go and talk to, and we could talk about what that process looks like for applying and getting involved in different ways, because I think our streamer pool is getting larger and larger, from internally to the guys we have streaming to the guys we see on the internet that we want, to I'm sure next what comes is a bombardment of people trying to bang down Aaron's door to be like, I want to be a CLT streamer, how do I get it done? So we're probably entering that age where we have to turn more away than we're accepting, but definitely an exciting time for us. I think it's a kind of a new little business side of it where we can grow. It's cool. I view it like this, right? So I think that we're easily in a path to an affiliate, right? If somebody joins our organization as a streamer, I think we can get into affiliate like no problem. Like that's not a problem at all. And then the sky's kind of the limit from there because they're going to get their minimum viewers in order to just monetize, right? Because getting
Mm-hmm.
to affiliate gets you to the money, right? And that's what everybody's kind of looking for is how do I make this a part-time gig where I can supplement my income.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that we're able to now give that platform to others and have them use that to grow is a huge, huge point of what we want to do. And I think that we'll find like our nade shots within that, right? So like there'll be some people that are just awesome that are streamers that show up on our front door that we're able to kind of groom a little bit and then push out to the world. And maybe it's a local Charlatarian. Oh, love that Charlatarian. Yeah, or whatever. But I think it's a really exciting time for us to be able to explore that a little bit
Mm-hmm. Because I mean, as everyone knows, our goal is to be a very influencer, content-based, organization, and we can't do that without the right people. So, put Aaron, put you up there to kind of lead that charge is, amazing because people like you, you're easily talked to. If anybody's like worried, just trust me, talk to Aaron, you'll be fine.
more.
It's a lot easier than you think to make that dream happen, at least as far as streaming, and we can at least guide you. If we can't get you on the team, we can at least guide you in how to kind of grow your brand. So,
Absolutely.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
sure.
Yep.
oh, so what's next on the list? Oh, okay. So, let's talk about what events like you got. Like, I want to know what I've kind of heard, Aaron, what you thought of, of GexCon. But let's get a recap for everyone watching us that didn't watch your stream. What? So when we went to GexCon, what was your, expectations going into it? Post, while it was happening. I want to know all of it, before, after, everything. What was your thoughts on it?
Yeah, so I mean, before the event, I got the chance to drive up with one of our Rocket League players, Jasper, and
That's right.
really great guy. It was a great conversation going up, but in terms of the event itself, I really didn't know what to expect. We see the cons on TV all the time, and I've watched BlizzCon and things like that. So like you're looking at like thousands upon thousands of people in these events, and everybody's like, yeah, we're gonna have these like major tournaments and whatnot. So I'm like, wow, there's gonna be like 20,000 people there, and it's gonna be great. And then we rolled up, and it wasn't exactly 20,000 people, but it was so cool because like there was such a neat community that was there, and a variety of different games and a variety of different gamers that really, it shocked me a little bit. So the whole experience was absolutely amazing, and hanging out with the teams and getting to cheer them on as they were competing in their respective tournaments, being shouted out online with CJ and I just yelling at the commentators during the Rocket League people, like it was crazy.
Yeah.
We didn't quite end up where we expected or where we wanted to, but I think it was a good learning experience, and from that aspect of things, I think as an organization, it was a definite growing experience for us. For me as a streamer, it was awesome. If I could go to those cons all the time and stream solely about our teams and talk about them, do little interviews here and there, that's perfect. That's
Well,
ideal.
yeah. Well, I think that's what we're gonna have you do anyway. So I kind of already. But no, I mean, I was in the same boat when I first started going to cons. I'm thinking like DreamHack stuff like that. Then I realized, well, these are like the big cons for the state. But what I had always seen was like the international type things. And so I mean, it still wasn't any less amazing, because the people there are really what make it what make it great. But it definitely was cool to see that side of things. So. Yeah, it was. How was riding with Jasper? How was that?
It was good. It was good. He kind of kept to himself, which most gamers do until you kind of bust them out of their shell, and then, it's the ride up wasn't too bad. Obviously, the Mario Party the following night got a little bit heated, but
a little bit heated. Okay.
A little bit heated. It was like right there, but. Juan was there to calm everybody down, so I think it worked pretty well.
Dude, these guys were playing Mario Party in the living room, and me and Josh are like laying down, like trying to sleep. And there's like 5 or 6 guys in the other room, and they are going nuts at like 2 o'clock in the morning over the newest Mario Party that existed in the world, and it was absolutely insane. That was my favorite moment so far in all of CLT Esports history, though, was like the gaming house and the vibes of the gaming house and having 16 dudes from players to staff to managers all in one place and being able to experience that. Like, I just can't wait for the next one because I'm so excited because of how fun it was.
Yeah, and like I said, I think the next one that we have that will be to that level is NecoCon, and that's at the beach. So everyone be ready because that's going to be a fun one.
There you go. Heck yeah.
Yeah. So Juan, over to you now. What were your thoughts of it?
Oh yeah.
GexCon. So I had been to other conventions. No gaming conventions. I've done fantasy. I've done Renaissance festivals, things like that. So the scene was not new to me, but the level at which it was, if that makes any sense. So like I had gone to Dragon Con, and Dragon Con is like 4 hotels spread across massive. It's ginormous. So seeing GexCon was different. It was a unique experience for me. It was nevertheless fun. It definitely teaches you that size isn't what matters. It's content. It's what you do when you're there, and the people that you are with that really create the atmosphere. So
stop.
Yeah.
Sorry, dude. You got me.
And this is what I do. So, no, seriously though, it was a lot of fun, man. Like GexCon, we lost our minds at parts. We
oh my God.
we OD'd on freaking energy drinks. Yeah. The bang was flowing like grand champagne.
Grand champagne.
Yeah.
What was we'll talk about your D&D experience.
Oh, yeah. So Aaron comes up to me and he's like, "Hey, let's walk around, right? Let's check out the place." And we started walking around, checking out all the different setups and whatnot. And we came across a D&D setup, and he's like, "Oh, I've never done D&D, and I'd like to try it one day." I was like, "Dude, let's do it." So we signed up for a class for a one shot, and we missed it. And then we went back, and then we signed up for a second one, and we missed that one too. And then we're like, well, fuck it, we're just never gonna do it. So we're just gonna walk around some more. And then while we were walking around again, we ended up finding this one table that was empty with a DM, and they were like, "Yeah, we're about to run one if you guys want to." And it was a Pathfinder edition.
Pathfinder. So the
That's
CJ
yeah,
edition.
that's my edition, dude.
Yeah.
My
So
D&D world. I feel that.
we had a blast, man. Yeah, I don't know what Aaron thought, but I
Yeah,
always
Aaron, what
have
was your thoughts on it?
I mean, it was awesome. You know, again, playing the excessive amounts of WoW that I do, you kind of do RP a little bit in there and kind of a D&D type feel to it, but never to that level. It was almost like, you know, you're coming up with this character on the fly, and you have to do things the way that, you know, you think, and really anything is the limit. I had a blast with it, and I actually watched a couple D&D streamers, you know, before I went up to the con, and it just kind of made me respect them a whole lot more
There you go.
once I realized just how hard it actually
To
is.
be the master of the game.
Absolutely.
Yeah, hey, you know, people think that being a character in D&D can be easy. There's so much.
I'm not creative enough for it, and I would say I'm a pretty creative guy, and I don't think I could do it.
Oh, I think anyone can do it. It's just finding
Thank
the
you.
right niche.
Oh my gosh, I'm so inspired. Thank you.
And listen, CJ, I almost killed our group like 4 times,
That's
so
awesome.
don't worry about
Yes, that would be
So
me.
much fun.
Yes. Cast fireball. Kill the Demogorgon.
it.
I know that you guys have like some things that you're working on outside of CLT Esports, and I totally want to give you a platform to be able to talk about some of that stuff. So like, I don't care who does it, but like, tell me about a little bit about what you guys are trying to build on the side of CLT Esports.
Well, right now, Aaron and I are working on a podcast of our own, and we are going to be talking with people from here in Charlotte that are gamers, and we're gonna talk to them about, I guess, their experience as a gamer,
Right.
what it was like for them, kind of like building a story of what a gamer is. I guess it would be the many faces of gamers,
Sure.
where I think the question of what is a gamer is still not known.
Hey, gamer.
Big game.
That's how you
So, like,
start it.
yeah. So like even now you go up to someone and they're like, "Well, what do you do?" And I'm a gamer.
Yeah.
They're like,
What does that mean?
"Yeah,
Means a lot of things
well,
for different people. I get it. No, it totally makes sense.
exactly." So we're working on that. Our first podcast is this Friday.
Cool. We'll shout
Um,
it out on the stream. Absolutely. Throw it out.
and yeah, we've got a few other things, right, Aaron?
Yes, we do.
Are they
We do.
secrets, or can we know about them?
No, they're kind of still in the works.
All right. I like
Um,
secrets. Heck
You know,
yeah.
we're working on it. We will
Cool.
be releasing some info here soon.
Cool. Are you guys? Do you have a name for it yet, or is it still the unknown?
I think it's still the unknown.
Let's
We've got to talk
explore
about
the
that.
mind of
Yeah.
Josh Richardson, the gamer.
The gamer.
And
The
I,
gamer.
you know, I think it's what I really like about you guys, specifically because like we have Gray and Blake and Jason who are like total FPS nerds that love FPSs and they don't really want to play a whole lot of different stuff. Obviously, I think they would like say that they've delved into the world of Warcraft and some different games and played League of Legends. But what I like about you guys is because you're kind of that different gamer that is into those kind of third-party games that are a little bit smaller and a little bit quirkier. And I think you're definitely still gamers, right? And I think that what is esports and what is a gamer and what different games does a gamer play? Like is Fortnite, the one type of gamer, and there's all these like different little pockets here, and I think exploring what those pockets mean to each person can establish some like kind of own pillars of communities within the space that we exist within, right? Like CLT esports might be just competitive, all about the win and want to get, all the money from the tournament, but there's several different subgenres that exist out there that I think are bigger in a lot of ways, and still need a community that can kind of support them, and we want to be that for those guys as well. So I think it makes a lot of sense for you to be able to explore some of those areas in the Charlotte scene.
For sure,
Yeah,
for
it is,
sure.
and we really, I mean, it's giving the face to the gamers that aren't just the FPS people,
Sure, yeah.
right? Because that's what we see, or the Rocket League folks. Those are the big tournaments, and we
Yeah,
know
Rocket
that.
League's terrible
Um,
game. I don't know why anybody plays
You were
it.
just, yeah, you were just playing it.
hey,
I saw you on Steam just playing it.
I was playing it. I was trying to figure out how to air dribble, man. I don't know how to do it,
man,
man.
I
After
still
this,
don't know how
I'll
to
hop
play it.
on.
I have about an hour in, and I'm like, yeah, my 8-year-old's better than I am at it. It's fine. I'm really okay with it. But yeah, I mean that's what we're trying to do, and again, we appreciate just you guys allowing us to have that voice and have that CLT background, because I think ultimately it's going to show them that everybody is welcome. It's
Yeah.
not just the FPS people.
Yep, definitely.
It's a variety of people who do a lot of different types of gaming, and that's important to kind of get everybody involved.
It's kind of funny. I just recently started thinking about, what it really means to be a gamer in an all around sense. And honestly, you, there's like, you're right, there's pockets, but really you have the creative people and then you have the numbers people. The ones that create the charts, can play the game to the nth number and know how to finish a game in 24 hours and get that high tiered loot and all this stuff. And then you have the people that take 3 hours just to make the face on their character before they even play,
Yeah, sure.
right? But somehow both those people are gamers, and both those people and genres of people can come and be together,
Sure.
you know, and I there's no other community like it. I don't think.
No. Would-
I agree with you. Yeah.
Do you guys want to talk about some current world stuff? I think something that's very relevant to like what's going on in your world, Aaron, as your new director of influencers, is I really like this. So the Fortnite World Cup that happened 2 weeks ago got a ton of different press. It was super big in the media and the mainstream, right? And I think that we can all agree that it was all kind of put on a platform by the amount of money that Booga won. You know, $3 million for a 16-year-old kid. But I think that that's kind of a cool, interesting, world and the Fortnite world and what it looks like in next season and all that stuff. And I don't know if you guys are versed on this at all, but I just kind of throwing it out there if there's any thoughts and opinions that kind of go on that topic that you'd want to discuss.
I think really not necessarily in Fortnite alone, but like look at the age of some of these gamers that we have at these tournaments now. I mean, we're talking about life-changing money
Yeah.
that these guys are able to make just by playing a video game, which before they were probably like shunned and like, oh, you just, you're in your basement doing that while you could be outside like messing around and, doing normal kid stuff. I mean, I think that's really what I think comes to light with these tournaments. If you watch them, I mean, I just got done watching the Mythic race for World First of Queen Ashara.
Yeah.
How was it?
I mean, it was insane. Like watching these guys, we're talking like 300 pulls before they would actually get somebody down. It was like 4 days between their 7th kill and the 8th kill. And it's insane the amount of dedication and the amount of time that these guys took away from their regular jobs to do this.
Was it Method?
Method didn't end up winning.
Of
Yep,
course.
Limit was behind them by a little bit. Limit had the lead for a while.
Yeah.
And they had about a 5-hour head start on them. Obviously with time difference, but it was about a 5-hour head start on the last boss. They just couldn't get it down.
I watched
and
the
Method,
end of it.
It was crazy.
Yeah.
Well, see, that's the weird thing. Like Method, it isn't just. I mean, they're very good in MMOs, but they have teams in other games too. Method is kind of all over the place, and I like that. They're not just an FPS. It's where like most of like the really popular esports teams are FPS teams. Like I mean, at least here in North America, because Call of Duty is huge in North America, so where it's not like as big in like China or Asia. or even Europe. You go over to those countries, that's League of Legends, Dota, stuff like that. You don't have FPS as much over there as you have here. So I think it's pretty neat to see like the differences in communities and stuff like that.
On that topic of Fortnite and what I want to kind of segue to, so what do we think about Ninja and what he's doing? Jumping on with Mixer and what does that do to the space? I'm curious what you guys think about that, especially you, Josh.
I mean, I think it's a good move. Not. I think it's a good move for streaming in general, not just the platform. It forces Twitch to actually try to compete now. It's where they haven't had before. It's good for Mixer because it's given them the numbers they needed. I think the price of what they paid for, to get an influencer of his size come over is a lot more than what people think. But Microsoft also has a ton of money and they can do stuff like that.
Yeah.
But I think overall for everyone, it's a good thing for everyone. We really needed something new, and the reason why Mixer is a different platform than Twitch is because the ads. So basically, if you look at it this way, on Twitch, you could have a streamer. Nothing against you, Aaron, but you could have Aaron who's getting the same ads that like Tfue or Ninja are getting. It's not like that. So monetizing like an ad, a company can't just go and say we want to do, go just for this streamer, run ads on his. They do it on all of them. As to where Mixer, you can, as a company, you can go and say I want to run ads on these types of people with this many numbers, and you can target people the
Oh,
streamers
really? Huh. Cool.
Yes. So it gives companies a more reason to invest in the streaming platforms, which is really good. So it's going to cause Twitch to have to come up with how they do things. They're going to do things different. They're going to fight back, obviously. So it's going to be pretty cool. Because if I'm not mistaken, Twitch is owned by Amazon, and yeah, so it's going to be basically Microsoft versus Amazon is what it comes down to.
I think everybody kind of saw this coming too, because I mean, if we remember where Ninja got a start, it was with
Halo.
Halo, which is Microsoft.
Which is Microsoft. So once they realized that, the Project Scorpio or whatever they're calling it now is going to be coming out, I mean, they needed to get somebody over there that was going to have the face that they could push. And somebody said it. I can't remember if it was one of you guys that had mentioned it in a chat somewhere, but it was kind of like, Mixer was probably on the chopping block. Not that it was losing people, but just the amount of money that they had to put into it. And I totally agree with that. It was probably the next thing to go. And as soon as they started to see that uptick, as soon as they were able to pull Ninja over from Twitch, which, I mean, it was groundbreaking. It was shocking. It was shocking to the entire streaming world.
Right.
I think you're going to see a resurgence, and I think you're going to see a lot of streamers jump from doing solely Twitch to Microsoft and actually make it a viable option for all streamers.
Yeah. I think it was. I'm all about the free market, and competition is always good. So having Mixer out there is it's a good thing.
Yeah. You know what I've also seen more recently is like people are using Facebook Live a lot more often, and some of these other like I can stream. I didn't know this until I actually did it at Carolina Game Summit last February, but like I can stream from Twitch on my phone, and I think that Facebook's kind of seeing the value in that, and then YouTube Gaming is also coming up, and they're gonna have they're working a lot on their platform. So like the fact that Twitch has a lot more different competition, and I think that Mixer and I think Ninja specifically are more clean cut, right? So he's a little bit more PG than you would like Shroud or Summit or Courage even at times. So it's like they're making themselves out to be a little bit more professional than what Twitch is, and I think that's a very interesting play. And in the next few years, I think we'll see the explosion because we watch stuff on Twitch, right? Me and you do, but I would say a lot of the world still doesn't, And I think that seeing it on Facebook Live or Twitch Live, not Twitch Live, like Twitter Live or Instagram Live or all these different platforms will give kind of the normie, if you would, more of an opportunity to stream from those sources, and then one of these platforms will kind of get that bigger audience that comes in, right? And I was listening to Devin Nash today, and he was talking about how the numbers are going down for Twitch right now. They're losing a lot of viewers to some of these other platforms, and I think that he didn't really say it, but I think that they're leaving Twitch and going to these other platforms. What's happening? You know,
They are.
it's just they're different facets for them to use, and I think Juan, you're a great example for this, or maybe even me. Like, I don't stream a whole lot. I'm an affiliate on Twitch, mostly because I've done it a little bit, but there's an opportunity for new streamers to choose something other than Twitch. Like, I don't
Yeah.
have to go to Twitch necessarily anymore. I can go to YouTube Live, or I can find another one where they're going to have a subscriber model and I'm going to have my own base there. And it's very interesting to see what demographics are going to live on those different platforms and how you can position yourself in order to have a bigger audience in the future.
Yeah.
I think that really becomes a bigger conversation of, well, what's my new strategy then, and how do I kind of tackle the market? Um, very
I mean,
interesting.
the big thing on Twitch right now is the whole average viewers, right? So you need to average X amount of viewers in order to become affiliate, and
Yeah.
X amount of viewers to become, eligible to be a partner. And Mixer, per my understanding, doesn't have that. You need to have a certain amount of followers, and that's it.
Oh, really?
Yeah, then
Oh.
you can go ahead and become an affiliate or whatever the monetized, version of their streamers are. And in all honesty, I mean, we talk about Twitch losing a lot of their people. With everything that's been said in the news, and especially on Twitter lately about Dr. Disrespect and, some of the other folks that we've seen get in some, serious trouble from, doing dumb stuff on there, or, found out that they were convicted of, animal cruelty. Like, that's what they're pushing their partners to be. I mean, and that's the face of their organization. So I completely agree with you. And Mixer kind of has that more, I don't know, refined, I guess is probably the best way that I can say it, look to them to really say, if you're serious about gaming, now we're serious about you.
Yeah.
And that's ultimately where they're turning the corner.
You guys are beautiful.
You're beautiful.
You can tell everybody's tired. It's been a long day for me.
Has been
I
a long
know.
day.
Yeah.
Yes.
I think we're gonna. I think we're gonna end it there. I think that we've covered a lot of topics. You got to meet Aaron and Juan, two awesome guys that are doing great stuff in the community. Make sure to follow them on social media, and we'll put their stuff below in the next for YouTube. And then, we got to do a shout out to our sponsors.
Yes,
Yes.
I was slacking on this one.
Go for it.
So let's give a shout out to My Computer Career. Pretty much changed my life. Went to the school, worked in construction, couldn't get an IT. Heard about them on the radio, checked it out. Was really legit. Went there. Took me a little less than a year to finish the program, and I was able to get an IT, which actually led to me getting into esports. So if anyone is interested, you definitely should be. Go to mycomputercareer.edu, take the free online. It's a quiz basically, and it will basically change your life. So give it a try. There's also our other sponsor, Web Real Simple. Those guys do magic. Check out our website if you want to see. But those guys have basically took our website, completely overhauled it, and just made it look absolutely amazing. So, Zeus, he knows what he's doing. If you guys want to check them out, webrealsimple.com. Let them know you heard about from us. Same as My Computer Career. Let them know you heard about them through us. It helps us out. But that's it.
There's one question in the chat I want to answer while we're still recording and live. Apex tourneys by WildStar Gaming. He wants to know if we're going to host an Apex Legends tournament.
Yeah, actually, that might be something we can do, considering they're kind of toying with the idea of doing solo queues. It's going to be a limited, kind of game mode.
Yeah.
But a lot of people are speculating this could be an actual thing that they're going to implement. So if it is, the chances of us doing an Apex tournament greatly increase.
Yeah.
Because it's much easier to do solo queue type BRs because you don't have to find a team, and it's a lot lower entry costs, and it'll be fun. So yes, that's very much is something that we're looking to do in the near future.
Cool. Awesome. Well, it was great talking to you guys. Appreciate it. Make sure to check out the next podcast next week on Tuesdays. We always do Tuesdays. Next week we have
Yoel from Coyote Gaming.
Yoel from Coyote Gaming coming on to visit us. Thanks for watching, guys. Appreciate it. See you in the next one.